Well, there's more than one way to warm up. This is Trumpet Warm Up number 5 video. Looks like this. And you should have it printed out off this website. If you got here some other way, cool. It's going to be hard for you to play along when you can't see the notes. We're going to start now. Maybe I'll trade this in for a trumpet. Buzz a couple notes. Some people really like to buzz a lot. I just like to make sure I haven't got anything weird going on, nothing hurts, everything feels good. You could do what you like. I'm going to play a couple of notes. Yep, everything's working. Let's go straight to the warm-up. This is for trumpet players who feel comfortable playing a G. Maybe you're playing a few higher notes, but they're comfortable with that G. Line 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And rest as long as you play, so we're going to take a little rest here. And move right into line 2. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so if that E was not comfortable, easy, this warm-up might not be the right one. You might still want to be using warm-up number 4. Here we go. Line 3. We're going to use some false fingerings towards the end. 2, 3, 4. Good. And remember to slur these. If there's odd imperfection, don't sweat it. Your job in a warm-up is not to try and push through stuff. It's just to get stuff going. Resting about as long as you play. So we're just about there. We'll start line 4. Again, with some false fingerings. If you like to play really well in tune, some of these are going to offend you. Get your third valve slide working for the 1 and 3 and 2 1, 2, and 3 notes. Here's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And again, a few of those notes are out of tune. Don't sweat it. We're going to play a chromatic scale now. If you don't know all these notes, you should. You can find them on your fingering chart. A chromatic scale is just basically a chunk of your fingering chart. Here we go, from G to G. Slurred, maybe crescendo as you go up. 1, 2, 3. Breathe. Breathe. Oh, snuck in some low notes on you. Yeah, so I would probably, I wish I had marked in those breaths, but I would breathe after those whole notes in the middle there, just so that there's never any chance that you're running out. Yeah, that felt good. Okay, I think I'm ready for line 6. I hope you are. Okay. 1, 2, 3. This is number 7. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I hope you were doing that so it felt relaxing as you descended. Speaking of descending, we're going to play some pedal tones now in line 8. If you got here from having played warm up number 4, you remember hearing those barf bag notes that really sounded awful. I'm going to cheat today. One of the cheats for playing pedal tones is to play them on something like this. This is a flugelhorn. You can do this on cornet as well, although I find it's less effective. That first pedal tone on the low C can be really hard to find on a trumpet. For some reason, this thing just cranks it right out, like this. It's almost too easy. On your piece of paper, I've written to play these notes open because that's the easiest way to do them on a trumpet. I'm going to probably use the real fingering for those notes because this instrument likes them. Here we go. This is line 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd that go for you? I'm going to go back to trumpet. We'll do some Chickowicz flow exercises. Starting with number 9. In the original form, these actually start even easier than number 9. And they eventually go even harder than number 13. Here's number 9. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Make sure you hold those whole notes right out to the end of the 4th beat or the beginning of the 5th non-existent beat. Here we go, number 10. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pick up the tempo a little bit so I don't run out of air. Here's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you need to breathe in there, you don't have to play in time with me. I'm not going anywhere. Take a breath when you need to, or just play the whole thing faster. Here's line 12. What I've done here is made some quarter notes so that you can play the whole thing faster. We slow down to half notes when we get to the hard stuff. Here's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Crescendo as you go up. Relax. as you come down. Number 13. We're going to go to the B flat. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And even a few low notes just to make sure that you're maintaining your flexibility across your range. This is now about a 2.5 octave range, which is pretty respectable. Line 14 takes you one step further. 1, 2, 3. So that for most of us is probably high enough. If it isn't, if you feel you need to warm up even higher, then just add another note. Add the D. Play the same kind of thing. Then if that's still not enough, add the E. Just keep use the fingerings from an octave down. Other fingerings will work. Other fingerings might even be better, but to keep your brain organized, just use the fingerings that you know. Line 15 is not a line at all. It's just a suggestion. So this is where I would, in my routine, the warm-up is essentially a part of a daily routine. And in this routine, you may have other goals. You may have decided, for instance, that you want to be able to play major and minor scales in any key. So this would be a good time to go over to something like the Clark Technical Studies, or into your Arbans or some other book and do something technical. If you're playing a piece in your high school band that has a lot of chromatic noodling in it, then maybe play some chromatic scales. And you can make up your own exercises. You don't need a scale sheet. You don't have to buy a book of scales. Just start playing them. Let's look at number 16. This is a lip slur up and down the instrument. It's the last exercise in this warm-up. And again, if you really feel the need to play higher notes, just add them in there. Here's 16. I'm going to use, again, the false fingerings whenever I can so that I'm just slurring. 1, 2, 3. And remember to lip slur up and down. Now if you find that it doesn't sound quite the same as mine when you get to the top note, you feel like you're getting some other note, you probably are. You're probably one full step below the highest partial there. It's good to know. It would be nice to play the arpeggio correctly, but if you're playing to a somewhat lower note, it's probably because that high note doesn't want to come out right now. And again, your warm-up is not designed to wear you down, it's designed to warm you up. So there's your warm-up. It's time to practice now. If you find that this warm-up is too easy, it's not getting you far enough towards being able to play the way you want to play, then start by adding things into it, but also start looking for other warm-up material. You can find it mostly in printed books that you pay money for. You might have access to a trumpet teacher who can give you some warm-up exercises that they like to use that might help you with any specific goals that you have. If your goals include playing way higher than anything you see on this page, then you probably need a different kind of warm-up. You're into some specialty extreme high playing that we're not really covering here. This is intended to help most students in most schools. That's where my audience is. Anyway, good luck with this. Keep it going. Have lots of fun. We'll see you back soon at trumpetheroes.com.